An online community of teachers, a case study, Elizabeth Lawson e Manuela Kelly Calzini. La relazione la farà Manuela Kelly Calzini. Ciao. Grazie. Ciao.
Buonasera, mi sentite bene? No, non posso fare senza microfono, vero? Per la registrazione.
Senza microfono non si può.
Ok. Come ha detto poc'anzi il collega, sono Manuela Kelly Calzini, Elizabeth Lawson è qui con me, che ha lavorato a questo progetto. Can I speak English or would you rather Italian? Posso fare entrambi? Inglese? Così ci svegliamo, we wake up in English. Okay, we change language. It's more familiar to me. My name is Italian, but I was born and bred in the UK, educated in the UK, and now I work for BSALT, which is the Italian authorized provider for Trinity College London, the exam board. How many of you know the exam board, Trinity College London? You know the board. They are ente di certificazione for the English language and the performing arts, including music, dance, and drama. And today, I'm here. I'm going to take you on a journey, a very fast and intensive journey on the what, the why, and the how of our online community of teachers. Mainly Italian teachers who are preparing students for an English exam. The what? Every year in Italy, we offer a very intense support program to our teachers, but we can't reach them all. And so we needed a platform, a virtual learning environment that would be accessible to all teachers in Italy using our exams. Then we did some research, and as Gray suggests, a community of practice is grounded in an anthropological perspective that examines how adults learn through social practices. And also, Wenger, a group of individuals with a shared domain of expertise who engage in a process of collective learning about practices that matter to them. And what we wanted was a way of deepening our relationship with our teachers and exchange best practices on the subject of learning English language and testing. And also, it helped us to reach the various regions of Italy. Teachers could engage. We wanted a platform, a VLE, where teachers could engage in online community, use forums, use the technology, low IT skills, technology that did not require high IT skills. So we, after some investigation and on the various platforms available, we decided that the best option for us was Moodle for a variety of reasons. First of all, it was a platform created by teachers for teachers. It's an open source, so cost effective too. And it had tools that were accessible also to teachers who did not have high IT skills, who were not IT savvy. We also needed a methodology. The technology alone does not guarantee high quality engagement or development of a community. So we needed a model. We decided on Julie Salmon's model, which is not the most recent model around, but it seemed to be the most structured and scaffolded model to support Italian teachers accessing, also for the first time, a virtual learning environment. And we also, as Gilly Salmon says, technology alone will not suffice high engagement and high interaction. You need the moderator. And as you can see from this model, there's a lot of moderation going on. Online learning is not distance learning. There's a huge difference between the two. Online learning is about socialization, it's about a community. Distance learning, not necessarily, is tutor or moderator led. We launched the idea of a Moodle platform, of a virtual learning environment where teachers could come in 2009 at our face-to-face conventions, which we run every year. This year is our 20th year, where we meet teachers face-to-face in various cities of Italy, and we talk about teaching English, learning English, testing English, and the exams, the certificazioni required by the ministry here in Italy. So we launched that in October 2009. The courses, the learning journey, started in January 2010. The courses lasted 5 weeks, and we launched three courses at 3 different levels. Teachers enrolled voluntarily. There was no voucher, there was no imposition from the ministry, it was free. At that time, there were no credits or incentives. The majority of teachers were female, and still are, so we encourage our male colleagues to come and join the community. And they came from different backgrounds, and here is a snapshot of what you will read in the contribution that's gone for publication. So what is surprising here is that the teachers were very experienced. The teachers who came on the Moodle platform were mostly teachers who had been teaching for more than 5 years. But surprisingly, the majority did not have any experience with Trinity examinations. So we were expecting more teachers from the Trinity environment, from the Trinity world. So that was quite an interesting finding for us. Again, at the time, in 2009, 2010, there was still quite a lot of problems with connections, broadband, especially in the south of Italy. But the south of Italy seemed to be the majority of teachers who were actually needing to learn more about testing and language learning and about the exams. Perhaps also because of the PON projects, they had funding for English language courses with the certificazione finale. So the structure of the course, it wasn't linear. That is why I chose a sort of a tree to illustrate. So module 1 was about orientation. Teachers familiarized with Moodle, they created a profile, they used the forum, they used the wiki, they used the chat. So it was really, that module is to learn the tools that we were going to use later. In the second module, we gave input, assessment for learning. In this conference, more than the past, I've been hearing about the valutazione delle competenze, and in English, assessment for learning, when assessment is at the heart of the learning and not something sporadic. It's not about your students jumping hurdles and then that's it, but it's part of the learning process. Then, of course, there was input on our examinations, the spoken examinations, and the ISE, our integrated skills examinations, and so. We focused on the conversation task and the topic task. Teaching speaking seems quite a difficult task in a classroom of 20, 25 students, so it seemed that the teachers appreciated that module very much. Module 3, and this is where the teachers started to construct knowledge. This is where it got interesting. They were collaborating on Wiki for shared projects. There were quite a lot of group discussions, debates. The forums were very much animated and tutor-led. In Module 4, we started sharing lesson plans, sharing best practices, sharing what worked, what didn't work in the classroom. And we actually built a repository of lesson plans, which, yes, they were for preparing for a Trinity exam, but even if the teachers who weren't preparing for a Trinity exam found the activities useful for good practice, teaching practice in the classroom. Week 5, or Module 5, was optional. It wasn't a compulsory module, and it was about classroom research. And I say classroom research and not action research. As teachers, we're all researchers. And when we encounter a problem in the classroom, we take that problem and we experiment various solutions. And that was quite an interesting module, and that there was reflective practice going on there. So that was more or less the structure of the course. As I mentioned before, we used Skype because we didn't have webinar at the time. So we used Skype for our video conferencing, forums, quick mail, wiki for the collaborative projects, and the text chat on Moodle, which is improving, but we had a bit of problems at the beginning. Teachers seemed to appreciate the journeys. It was the thing they enjoyed the most, and also the downloadable classroom activities. And what was interesting about that is it wasn't Trinity providing classroom activities or lesson plans. It was the teachers. It was teachers sharing their lesson plans, which was really, you know, that is the sense of the community, I think. Some qualitative data and comments which kept appearing and appearing. What teachers actually appreciated about the community was the sharing, the cooperation, exchanging information, and the socialization part was fundamental to the building of the community. Very often, as language teachers in private schools, but also in state schools, they often say, we feel lonely, we don't feel understood. And in this here, they were finding colleagues with their same problems. And that is what the motivation that made us carry on, because it was a lot of work, but after the initial pilot that ended in the academic year 2010, in September 2011, we tripled the number of teachers who were coming on the community, and it was to 1,200. Today, we can say that the experience was a huge success from the community part of perspective. It wasn't a smooth road. We did encounter some bumps, and we have learned some lessons. Teachers have limited time. We live in a fast world, rapidly changing world. A lot of teachers come with very low IT skills, so they're expecting to learn the technology. I think we heard talk about lurkers. Lurkers in online learning are not bad things. Lurkers are those people who come in, they observe, they download things, but they don't engage, they don't participate. Maybe in one course, but that doesn't mean that they're not learning, they're not getting anything from it. And eventually, they do come on as active, engaged community members. Facilitators are a huge issue. Facilitators need training. It's not about bringing your knowledge, your experience online to core. You have to really learn about e-moderation and how to create e-tivities. Today, we are almost 6,000 teachers on this platform. We have 20 different types of e-tivities for teachers. We now have introduced webinars, and we are using the Big Blue Button software. So all our journeys, all our courses include at least 2 webinars on the theme of the course. And we now have badges. At the end of every module, teachers get a badge. And they are 4 weeks. From our learned lessons, we have created modules of 4 weeks. And after the 4 weeks, if they have the 4 badges, they get a certificate of attendance. We are now in the process of getting the accreditamento also for our online training courses, which are completely free for Trinity teachers, and therefore teachers can put this in their portfolio. The presentation will be, I believe, online, accessible later, where you can see our webinars. These are scheduled webinars until the end of November. We will continue with our journeys, teaching teachers how to use our exams and how to promote teaching in the classroom. But we are also coming with 3 brand new teacher training courses, each of between 20 and 30 hours, teaching speaking, teaching the 4 skills, and teaching young learners. And that it will be 100% online, including webinars and symposiums where we invite speakers from the ELT world, and which will go in the accreditamento for the ministry. And I conclude with this lovely quote: "An online community of practice is more than a community of learners, it is a community that learns." We have learned a lot, our teachers are learning a lot, and I hope we'll continue to learn together. Stay in touch, and if you haven't received a Moodle bookmark, please come to the front later and get one. Thank you.
Thank you. Ci sono domande? Ci sono? Any questions? No. Prego.
Sì, volevo sapere se vi occupate anche del CLIL, oppure no.
Yes, sì, ci occupiamo di CLIL in quanto una delle lingue CLIL è l'inglese. I nostri esami non sono proprio esami per la metodologia CLIL, però l'esame di lingua è un esame CLIL compatibile. Perché nella parte orale dell'esame il candidato può scegliere l'argomento, per cui lui potrebbe anche portare uno esperimento che ha fatto in laboratorio di biologia oppure un progetto di geografia e parlare di questo argomento all'esaminatore. E nella parte scritta gli argomenti, siccome è un esame molto accademico, quello delle 4 abilità, è per un gruppo, diciamo, un target che va dagli 11 ai 19 anni, si presta molto al CLIL perché gli argomenti sono quelli affrontati anche nelle lezioni CLIL. non è ovviamente un esame per la metodologia CLIL, però molti docenti che si stanno adesso abilitando, che hanno bisogno della certificazione C1, stanno prendendo questo tipo di esame perché è un performance based, per cui devono saper fare, e l'insegnante CLIL deve poter gestire la lezione in classe con una certa fluency. È un esame dove serve veramente la performance, quindi in questo senso possiamo essere di supporto al CLIL.
Grazie. Ci sono altre domande, altre osservazioni? Sì, io chiuderei facendo una considerazione. Io sono sempre colpito dalla concretezza e dall'eleganza della concretezza dell'approccio in generale delle esperienze inglesi, no? C'è un'estrema eleganza della concretezza che non è sempre così diffusa, e quindi mi pare molto interessante queste soluzioni, insomma, queste concrete attività didattiche costruite in questo modo. Dunque,